the Everising S 6235HAA. It's a fully automatic double miter cutting bandsaw. Now, the standout feature on this machine is the fact that the angle is programmable via the CNC controller. You find that most saws within this price range and size, when you're changing angle, you do it manually by hand. Whereas this, it's fully programmable with a CNC controller. And where this sits price-wise, a fabricator who needs a degree of automation in their cutting can actually bring their cutting in-house at an affordable price. Now, to show you a few features on the machine, this over here is the Shuttle Vise. So what that does is that will grab the material, clamp it, move it back and forth to feed it into the machine. That there, you can see you've got that cylinder there. That's got 600 mil of travel, and you can go up to 9 times shuttles. So if you're processing a beam, you can do 600 by 9, because generally anything over that size, it's quicker to move by hand anyway. Now, it has what we call a half full stroke cylinder. And what that means is when you're clamping the vise, the length of the cylinder stroke, you can actually see over there, that will move in and out. Now, you can see that the pin there is located. So the way it's currently configured is for smaller pieces. If you want to do larger pieces, you just put it over and put it in that pin over there, and that will give you the ability to do larger pieces. The reason for that is if you look at that cylinder, you imagine if that went the full way, it would be sticking out, and if you got forklifts driving past it, you can just imagine that getting collected and being ripped off. So that's why we have that system there, what we call a half full stroke. The machine comes with this table over here, and that's got a whole bunch of rollers that sit within those brackets, and this table sits over that cylinder. So one, it's to protect it, but also when you're feeding in your material, it's got the rollers on so you can feed it in nice and smoothly. You also have a 0-point detector on this machine. So if you have a look there, you have a sender and your receiver, and what that does is that has a laser light that emits across the bed. So what you do is you set up the job, you clamp it, that will automatically move, make contact with that laser and detect the beginning of the beam. And that's predominantly done for trim cuts, where you just want to do a trim cut, you zero the material, get rid of all the rubbish, and then it will automatically go into whatever you set for automatic cutting. On this machine over there, you've got hydraulic carbide blade clamping. So that's all controlled via the controller. You just flick a switch, that'll unclamp, and it's an easy way to change the blade, but also it's all preset. So unlike traditional machines where you've got little screw which is hand tightened, this is all preset, so you're not over tightening or under tightening the blade. You've also got a status light. So a nice feature of that is it's simple to see when the machine's working, not working, or in error. So at the moment it's orange, which means idle. If it goes into red, it's in error. Green mean that it's operational. Over here is your rapid approach arm. So what that does is you don't want the frame of the machine going up and down the full stroke. So that automatically senses where the material is, lifts up just to above the job, clamps, feeds it through, and then it'll come down just above the job. So that's an automatic sensor to see where the material is. Over there is our laser light. So what that does is that just puts a red light over the job. And when you use that, what it's used for is, instead of using a ruler, bringing the blade down and then measuring it, that is your measuring line. So you just switch that on, that'll put a line over the material, use your ruler, and you can measure it if you want to just do a single cut. This machine is also fitted with hydraulic blade tensioning. So over there, that's just a hand lever. You turn it, release the pressure, turn it, put pressure on. So that's for when you are doing a blade change. This machine also comes, over there is hydraulic bundle clamps. So when you're doing bundles, it's going to keep the bundle nicely clamped, and it's quite simple to fit. Over here you've got those fittings there. It's just a simple fitting that you push on, and that will then activate the hydraulic bundle clamps in conjunction with your clamping on the machine itself. Now we go to the control panel. So this is a control panel, and this is your CNC screen. So this is your very start of the screen, and you've got automatic calibration as well. So because this machine is automatic, fully automatic, including the angle, you might need to calibrate it from time to time if it goes out of calibration. That is your main screen. So it gives you a job, length, angle, set quantity and amount of cuts, and what your angle is, what your setting angle is. You can manually position the frame as well. And then you've got your fully automatic jobs. So that over there is your job setting screen. So it tells you what job it is, what length, what angle, and the amount of quantity that you want to cut, plus the amount of cuts that you've already done. So you can see there, you might have job number 1, length of 50 mil, angle 30 degrees, one of those. Second job is 500 long, negative 45 degrees. So what this means is everything in yellow that's programmed in there, if you've got one beam, one length of material in the machine, you can run all of those jobs, and you also decide how many quantities you want. It doesn't have to just be one. That's just an example that we put there. It might be 10 or 15, but you can run all those jobs without touching the machine. So once it's actually running, angles will change automatically, feeding will be done automatically. Now we're going to run the job so you can actually see how the machine works. So now that angle is plus 60 degrees, and you can see the status light at the top is green, so everything is in good working order. Unclamps, moves forward. So that's the automatic shuttle feature. Everything clamps. That moves back, ready to feed through the next length. Now, what's going to happen here is that frame's moving up. So obviously, because you've got all of those, call it hindrances, it needs to move all the way up and then change angle. Now, I'll move back so you can actually see it. Now that's automatically changing the angle. It's finished changing the angle, it comes down and starts cutting. through the material. You can see that the frame's not going all the way up because it's of that sensor arm. Now this is going to be fantastic to show you that you're turning in the opposing angle. So what will happen is this entire table will move out of the way hydraulically and automatically, so you don't cut into that vise. So let's move around to the side. And that's an automatic feature, so it will know when it needs to do that and automatically do that, and then the machine starts cutting in the opposing angle. And that's the Everising S 6235H88 fully automatic bandsaw, including programmable angle.